I never thought I would be the man sitting here, trying to make sense of a reality that feels more like a cruel dream than the life I've lived for 20 years. My wife and I met in college. Back then, she told me she was a virgin. I was more experienced, sure, but I didn't think much of it. I figured we'd grow together, explore together, learn each other in the way couples do. Except she never really tried. She was always distant when it came to intimacy. I was the one who initiated, who kept our sex life alive. Once or twice she pretended to be adventurous. She tried giving me oral, but told me she didn't like it. We attempted anal one time, 15 years ago. For a moment, it looked like she enjoyed it, but afterward she swore she never wanted to do it again. And so I accepted it. I told myself, this is who she is. She doesn't like those things, and that's fine. At least we have each other. At least we're together. We weren't in a dead bedroom. We had sex once or twice a week. She never really initiated, but when I did, she participated, and she seemed to enjoy it enough. She always reached her climax. I thought, maybe that's enough. Maybe that's marriage. For 20 years, I lived with that belief. But 5 months ago, she started a new job. It required travel, 2 or 3 trips a month, a couple days each. She was busier, yes, sometimes more distracted, but overall she acted like the same woman I had always known. We had dinner, we laughed, we went out together, we cuddled on the couch, we had sex. Nothing seemed wrong, nothing felt different, until a few days ago. She left to visit her mother, and my laptop stopped working, so I borrowed hers. We had recently been looking at old family movies together. Our kids are grown now, off in college, and I searched for video files on her computer. I typed .mp4. At first, I found what I was looking for, family memories. Then, I saw something else, a thumbnail of her, on a bed, naked. At first, I thought maybe, just maybe, she had filmed something for me. Maybe she wanted to surprise me and then lost the nerve to share it. But as I watched, the camera angle shifted. It wasn't a tripod. Someone was holding it. And then my world collapsed. I found not one, not two, but 11 videos. 11. Every single one in a hotel room. Every single one of her with another man. And these weren't just cheating videos. These were performances, long sessions, some 20 minutes, some over an hour, with stops and starts like they had been at it all night. She was doing things I had begged her to try for 2 decades that she had never once allowed me to do: oral sex, anal, bondage, spitting, condomless. She looked alive, animated, begging, dirty talking in a voice I didn't even recognize. At one point, she giggled when he spit in her mouth, calling herself his little cum slut. This is a woman who wouldn't even swear in bed with me. A woman who, if I had ever dared spit near her, would have slapped me across the face. And yet, in those videos, she looked thrilled, not just aroused, joyful. It looked like she was in love. I sat there, staring at the screen, unable to breathe. This couldn't be my wife. The woman in those videos looked like her, sounded like her, but the way she moved, the things she said, it didn't line up with the woman I had shared my life with for 20 years. And yet, it was her. Her smile, her laugh, the way she tilted her head when she was nervous. All those little tells were there. There was no denying it. The more I watched, the more broken I became, because what I saw wasn't just sex, it was a side of her I had never known, a side she had deliberately hidden from me. She begged him, she pleaded with him to use her. She arched her back, opened herself, smiled when he degraded her. She asked him to finish inside her over and over again, with a hunger in her voice I had never once heard directed at me. And all I could think was, Who is this woman? For 2 decades, I thought I knew her. We had built a family, a home, a life together. We raised children. We celebrated anniversaries. We took vacations. We snuggled on the couch watching TV. She'd lay her head on my shoulder and sigh like she was content. But behind my back, in those hotel rooms, she became someone else. Someone wild, someone free, someone who laughed and begged and played the role of a woman who had been waiting her whole life to be unleashed. I couldn't wrap my mind around it. How could she deny me these things for 20 years, but give them freely, joyfully, to another man she had known for only a handful of months? Was it me? Was I not enough? Did she ever love me? The hardest part was realizing there were no signs. She came home from those trips smiling, relaxed. She would kiss me, hug me, sometimes even initiate sex, which I had thought was rare for her. I told myself she must have missed me, but now I know she had just come home from being with him, and I was, what? The afterthought? The fallback? The man she cleaned herself up for before crawling into bed again? It wasn't just betrayal, it was contamination. We never used condoms. She had a tubal ligation years ago, and now looking back, every time we were together, I was second. I was her sloppy seconds, whether I knew it or not. That thought alone made me sick. And then came the fear, the risk. What diseases had she put me at risk for? I booked an STI panel immediately because I had no choice. But even more than the physical danger, it was the psychological devastation that cut deepest. For days, I kept asking myself the same question. How could I live with someone for 20 years and never know who she truly was? How could I look into her eyes, share a bed, raise children, and yet completely miss this other version of her? Maybe she was always this way and just hid it. Maybe she buried her desires, suppressed them, played the good wife for me, for our family. Maybe this new man gave her permission to be who she always wanted to be. Or maybe she changed. Maybe something in her snapped. I replayed every moment of our marriage in my head, searching for cracks, signs I had overlooked. But there weren't any. No hints, no late-night texts, no secret passwords, no unexplained absences, other than these business trips. And yet there she was on screen, fully exposed, not just physically but emotionally, a stranger in my wife's body. What made it worse, so much worse, was the joy on her face. I'm not talking about just lust or arousal. I'm talking about pure happiness. The kind of glowing, radiant expression she had never once shown with me, not even in our honeymoon phase. It made me question everything. Had she ever truly been happy with me? Or had she been pretending all along? Was our entire marriage a mask she wore, waiting for the day she could finally rip it off? The disconnect shattered me, and so I sit here now, lost, angry, broken, and asking myself if anyone else has ever lived through this. To love someone so deeply, so faithfully, only to discover that the person you thought you knew never truly existed.